Have you ever spent a day busy working and when you realize the day passed and you feel that you didn't produce anything? You intend to run your projects, your goals, your dreams someday, but that someday never comes. You end up spending hours immersed in emails, messages, stuck in meetings, and absorbing many other people's tasks only to realize that you couldn't find time for that one thing you really needed to do. But what if you could make time for those activities you not only need to do but also want to? In today's video, we'll talk about the book Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky.
Hey guys, Simone Brain here and welcome to Practical Knowledge. First of all, thank you so much for your feedbacks on our videos. And if you want to see more videos like this, I ask you to click on the subscribe button. So in this way, we can continue this work. According to the authors, Make Time is not a book about productivity. It's not about getting more done or finishing our to-do lists faster or outsourcing our lives. Instead, it's a framework designed to help you create more time for the things you care about.
Whether that spend time will be with your family, learning a new language, starting a side business, volunteering, writing a novel, or mastering a game. As the book states, whatever you want time for, we think Make Time can help you get it. Moment by moment and day by day, you can make your life your own.
For that to happen, there are 4 elements that are structured in a way that allow you to not just perform those activities you need to do, but also the activities you would like to do.
The elements are highlight, laser, energize, and reflect. For each of these elements, the book includes dozens of tactics for putting the Make Time into practice. Some tactics may work for you, but some won't. It will be like a cookbook. You don't try all the recipes at once, right? So you don't need to do all the tactics at once either. Instead, you will pick, test, and repeat those that make sense and work for you. Each day will provide a chance to experiment different tactics in a way that you build your own version of the system. It will be totally personalized, and because you build it yourself, there are more chances to you trust it and fits into your existing lifestyle. So let's begin with the highlight.
The first step is to decide what you want to make time for.
This highlight will be a single activity to prioritize and protect in your calendar. It might be an important goal at work, a project that is time sensitive, like finishing presentations, sending a price code to a customer, or even helping your kid finishing a big school project. You can choose your highlight by urgency. But also, and it's the fun part, your highlight can be chosen in terms of satisfaction and joy. Instead of thinking about deadlines and priorities, you can think about the sense of accomplishment. It might be something you don't necessarily have to do but want to do. Something that has meaning to you but you haven't quite found the time to do it. It can be enrolling in a cooking course, a search for your next family vacation, arranging what is necessary to meet old friends, master a new song, reading a book, or just hang around with your kids. These kind of projects are super vulnerable to procrastination because although they are important, they are not time sensitive and it makes them easy to postpone. You can use or highlight them to break the someday cycle.
In resume, the highlight is something that you can look back that day and be proud that you accomplished. Of course, it isn't the only thing you will do each day. After all, most of us can just ignore our responsibilities or other tasks, but definitely the highlight will be our priority.
Asking yourself what's going to be the highlight of my day ensures that you spend time on the things that matter to you and don't lose the entire day reacting to other people's priorities. As the book states, when you choose a highlight, you put yourself in a positive and proactive frame of mind.
Okay, I chose the tactic number 6 of the book to illustrate how can we define and organize our highlight and other tasks. It's called the burner list.
The burner list is intentionally limited. It forces us to acknowledge that we can't take on every project or task that comes in our way, and also it forces us to say no when we need to, and stay focused on our number one priority. To do this is very simple. You can get a single blank sheet of paper and create 2 columns by drawing a line down the middle. The left-hand column is going to be your front burner, and the right-hand column your back one. You are allowed to have one and only one project, activity, or objective on the front burner. Not two, not three, just one. So in the top left-hand corner, write the name of your most important project. You can even write a to-do list with activities that belongs to a project, preferably tasks you can fulfill that day or in the next few days. Leave the rest of the first column empty. It might be tempting to fill the space with every task you can think of, but the burner list is not intended to fill the paper's surface area efficiently. The blank space gives you room to add more tasks for the top projects as they come up. At the top of the right-hand column, write the name of your second most important project, then list the related to-dos underneath. The idea is to direct your time and attention as you would if you were cooking on a stove. You would naturally focus most of your attention on the front burner. Sure, you are aware of the back burner and might reach back there to stir a pot or flip something, but the front burner is where the attention is. Finally, about halfway down the right-hand column, list any miscellaneous tasks that you need to do but that don't fit with project number 1 or project number 2. It doesn't matter if they are part of project number 3 or 4 or are totally random, they get chucked into the kitchen sink with everything else. The burner list won't have room for everything. And that means you have to let go of things that aren't as important. But again, that's exactly the point.
One of the advantages of the burner list is that it's totally disposable. You can scrap it every time you cross off a few finished to-dos and then recreate it over and over.
This act of recreating the list is important. It allows us to discard some unfinished tasks that no longer matter. And it also allows us to reconsider which projects belong on the front and the back burners. Sometimes it will be a work project that gets the high priority spot, and sometimes it will be a personal project. It's okay and natural for things to shift. What's important is there can only be one front burner project at a time.
Even if you won't make a burner list, the importance is to understand the idea, the concept that you shouldn't treat all the activities you have for that day with the same urgency.
The second step is laser.
Now that we define our highlights, we also need to think how we will react to distractions that might get in our way. In other words, we need to protect and assure that our highlight will be done.
And this, according to the book, is the hard part. Because if you think your attention as a laser beam, the distractions are like a disco ball. Light goes everywhere except in the direction of your target, and probably you'll miss your highlights. Distractions like email, social media, and breaking news are everywhere, and they are not going away.
And of course, modern technology is remarkable. I can speak to you guys because of it. It's delightful, it does make our lives more convenient and fun, but they are designed to catch and retain our attention.
So, if you can throw away your gadgets and swear off technology entirely and go live in a cave, you need to redesign the way you use technology to stop the reaction cycle. And that is exactly what this step is all about.
I chose one tactic which I think very useful to illustrate how we need to deal with some distractions. It's the tactic number 19, nix notifications.
It has to do with our phones. Our phones are amazing, but in terms of getting focus, the notifications are not your friends. They are non-stop attention thieves. So you can try to turn off the notifications of all your apps and leave only the really critical and useful ones enabled, such as calendar reminders, text messages from specific people, and so on. As the book states, by turning off your notifications, you teach your phone some manners. You transform it from a non-stop blabbering loudmouth into a polite bearer of important news, the kind of friend you would actually want in your life. Of course, our phones may not be the only source of distractions, but you can use the same strategy to silence other distractions as much as you can.
The most important reward of this type of action, from my perspective, is you reclaiming control. Once you control the defaults of your life, you become the boss. And that's how it should be.
The third step is energize.
Choosing a highlight and getting to laser mode are the core of the make time. But the secret ingredient, according to the authors, is energize.
The thesis of them is simple. If you have energy, it's easier to maintain your focus and priorities and avoid reacting to distractions and demands. Now, imagine that you got a battery inside you. All your energy is stored in this battery. And just like the battery in your phone or laptop, it can be charged all the way up to 100% or can drain all the way down to zero. When your battery is empty, you are thoroughly exhausted, and this is when you are most likely to get distracted. Then probably you feel worse because you are tired and you are annoyed at yourself for wasting time. Now imagine how it feels when your battery is full. You feel well rested, your mind is sharp, and your body feels alert and alive. You are ready to take on any project. Can you visualize this feeling? Pretty nice, huh? That's 100%. To get the energy you need to maintain a focused, high performing brain, you have to take care of your body.
And in this part of the book, we have a bunch of tactics which aim to recharge our body battery.
Basically, they include doing exercises, eating real food, meditation, taking breaks, spending time with people you care, and properly rest. As Dr. John O'Reilly says in his book Spark, regular aerobic activity calms the body so that it can handle more stress before the serious response involving heart rate and stress hormones kicks in. It raises the trigger point of the physical reaction. In the brain, the mild stress of exercise fortifies the infrastructure of our nerve cells by activating genes to produce certain proteins that protect the cells against damage and disease. When you don't care of your body, your brain cannot do its job. If you have ever felt sluggish or uninspired after a big lunch, or invigorated and clear-headed after exercising, you know what I mean. If you want energy for your brain, you need to take care of your body. The last step is reflect. This is the moment of the day when you stop and analyze what worked and what didn't that day. You can think about, did I manage to perform my highlights? Was I pulled by distractions or manage to resist? How was my disposal during the day?
After thinking and write it down if possible, it's time to plan your next day and choose which tactics you will use, whether you will stick with them, adapt, or try new ones.
As the book states, as you experiment with the system, it's important to remember that some tactics will work right away, but some will require patience and perseverance. Sometimes it takes trial and error to make a tactic fit in your life. If you read the book, you see that most of the tactics are pretty simple to implement and they are very effective. As the book states, small shifts can put you in control. If you reduce a few distractions, increase your physical and mental energy just a bit, and focus your attention on one bright spot, a blood day can become extraordinary. It doesn't require an empty calendar, just 60 to 90 minutes of attention on something special. The goal is to make time for what matters, find more balance, and enjoy today a little more.
I invite you to comment which part of this video resonated with you. If you found this video relevant, please share with the people you think that it can be useful, and I will leave you with 2 more videos for you to know more about our channel.